we've seen that as well in the U.S. with the Fortune 500 companies. We'll have women will drop down from the CEO or executive positions. And so what is it that's occurring for this to happen?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. But I was asked to speak at an event not so long ago for International Women's Day. And so I'm so busy just trying to do the basics of, being a good CEO for our own organisation. But I thought it was about time I went back and took a look at what had occurred through my career. I was very fortunate. I grew up with a cohort of women at The Guardian who all went on, and The Guardian is one of our national newspapers in Britain, who all went on to have unbelievably stellar careers. And I worked on the basis that, as we progress through our career, each one of us, you look back and you just think, well, obviously it's now going to be a kind of an army of women following along. But when I did my research, what I found was nearly every single one of those roles was now being done by a man. So you just think, what is going on? There's another piece of research that was done a little while ago, which I found fascinating. And that is, there's an organisation in Britain called Teach First. And so what it does is it takes college graduates and then encourages them to go into the teaching profession in order to give something back. And also for them to be able to start to build a career in teaching. So the people going in were equally split between men and women. And then what they did was they looked a number of years later to see how many of those people had become heads of the schools. And what they found was that the vast majority of them were men. So they're saying if we can get them in equal at the beginning, what's happening when you get to the senior place? So they thought of all the usual things. Have the women dropped out because of pressures at home? What other factors were taking place? And what they established, I found really amazing. And that is that it was purely down to the fact that when the job ads were posted, the men would look at the list and say, I can do 70% of that, I'll apply. And the woman would look at it and say, there's 10% on there I can't do, and so I'm not going to apply. So they addressed that, and now they've converted those statistics. I just think that's amazing.
That we hold ourselves back.
We hold ourselves back.
Completely.
That's right. We constantly doubt whether we are good enough to be able to do something. And I think we've just got to be braver and say, and I think in my mind, I've always worked on the basis of, well, if somebody else can do that, I'm going to have a crack at it. And so I've never psychologically held myself back. I've always tried to push a bit harder than just push myself.
Mm-hmm. You like the challenge.
I do love the challenge. Right. I love the challenge. Yeah.
And it shows. You are where you are.
Yeah.
Because you tackled a challenge. So.
Yeah. I know, I do. I really love a mission. And being at the forefront of new technologies is so exciting because you're able to look at the possibility and then bring that to fruition. But you can only do that with a great partnership approach.